Hello, welcome to the Brain Scrub, a somewhat improvised approach to mental health. My name is Glenn Sollers, and thanks for tuning in today. Today, I would like to talk about parental alienation in a different context, and also estrangement, or those who have lost a loved one, or something that is not making your heart feel complete. And I can speak from experience here that the last 7 years, when my son decided to alienate me, and I'm not going to get into the reasons behind that. However, it left a void in my life. My son is a big part of my life. He's my only child, and losing him hurt me tremendously. Many people who are alienated resort to drug use, suicide, they have mental health issues, they're stressed out, and for sure I was impacted by this in respect to stress and anxiety and different things. It's difficult when you have a certain identity as a father or as a parent or as a spouse, perhaps, whatever it might be, and then something disappears from your life. It's tough, especially if they're still alive, because it leaves this void that you know that eventually you hope they're going to come back and fill that void. So for me, what I did is I left an open wound in my heart, so to speak. It was kind of like a hole in my heart, which didn't allow me to be present in a lot of situations. It didn't allow me to feel fulfilled, authentic, wholehearted, because deep inside I was in a lot of pain, and I still am in pain, but less so now, because I'm missing somebody who's really important in my life. And there's all the things that I have about that situation as well, and the story and how unjust it is and how it's going to impact my son in his life. He just doesn't know it now. And I can be very angry about all those things, which I still have a bit of anger about it. But the main part of this, regardless of all the work that I did and the self-awareness work that I did, it wasn't until 2 weeks ago, and I don't know what came to me, but I realized that the hole in my heart in missing my son can be filled. And by me not feeling present with especially my wife, because I feel sad about my son, it took away from my experience with her and her experience of me. And she is ultimately the one I'm going to be with for the rest of my life. She's there every single day with me. She'll be there in retirement. She'll be lying beside me, or I'll be lying beside her when it's our final days. This is the person that really is the most important in my life, excluding me, of course. You have to love yourself first and really cherish yourself. And this is not about being dependent on somebody else, but it's about filling a void that you may have in your life. What is that void for you? What is missing in your life? Which is not allowing you to be completely present in the moment. It could be a lack of a sense of purpose. It could be worrying about different family members. It could be fear of something. There are so many different things that we can have that leaves a hole in our heart or a void there. And we might be trying to fill that with things that maybe we can't always control. There are things we can control. There are things we can't control. With my son, I've done everything possible within clear boundaries around not stalking him or dropping by his home or things like that, because that's not acceptable. I am being rejected by him. And of course, I understand there's other influences in there, that it's not the right time for him to reach out to me, possibly. There could be some fear there. But I've had to respect boundaries that he's made clear with me, rightly or wrongly. I am pursuing something that is not ready to pursue me. And in pursuing him, I'm just causing more pain. A couple of weeks ago, I said I need to move on. Not that I'll ever lose hope of having him in my life, but by me considering that and hoping for that and not feeling 100% content, I'm really taking away from the relationship with my wife. And she doesn't deserve that. And I don't deserve that. I told her that I am now going to give you my whole heart, that you are that important to me. You are going to fill the void that I've been feeling, and I'm going to allow you to fill that void. And it was a choice I had to make. I was nearly in tears when I told her this, because it's been 7 years of me not allowing that, not being completely present with her, not being present with other people at times. And my friends definitely fill many voids in my heart, but it was my wife that I really needed to connect with and let her in, her whole self, to be my heart, to be part of my heart, and to encompass it so there are no holes. Because if you don't fill up holes, and you can use different analogies with this, like maybe you have a piece of wood out there on your house and there's a hole in it and it's rotting and you don't do anything about it, it's just going to rot. You can put Band-Aids on stuff as well. It doesn't really do much. I have a board on my pergola on my house that's starting to rot, and what I did was I just put patch stuff on it and it didn't work. And then it started rotting more, and I took it out, and then I tried to reapply it, and then that didn't help. It kept on rotting. So I kept on trying to fill this hole with things that didn't last. I now have to replace the board and get a new one, because if you try to fix rot or a hole with plaster, yeah, maybe on a piece of drywall that's going to work, but when it comes to wood, not going to work. Same thing with the human body. If you try to do some patchwork on it, it may not last too long. So for her, I'm going to get rid of the rot, so to speak, in my heart from the inside out, and let her love in. What came afterwards by doing this was what amazed me the most. And for anybody who's alienated, if you can get to this place where you just give your heart to somebody and say, you know what, I don't know if I'm ever going to see this person again, and that's okay, because you are the most important thing in my life. Everybody has their own journey. They're going to live their own journey. I can't control what other people do, but I can control the feelings that I have for another and not let something take it away. I instantly felt so connected to her, like I never felt before. I had so much love in my heart, and I would say it exceeds that of when we initially met. The love I have for her is outstanding, and I couldn't stop hugging her. I couldn't stop kissing her. I couldn't stop just smiling, being with her, being open, being honest, holding her hand. The connection it created after being together for 16 years blew my mind. Now, she also felt very overwhelmed by the fact that I was giving her so much affection. She is not the type that will go out there and hug and kiss me. She's not a touchy-feely type of person. And it did feel overwhelming for her. She wasn't used to it. And we're starting to work through that now, because it's a shift. It's a shift in my wants. It's a shift in my needs. It's a shift in how I feel, which has an incredible impact on everything in a positive way. But I'm taking habits that I've created over the last number of years and I'm dropping those habits through an intention of you fill my heart. And of course, the byproduct is going to be more affection, more love, and I can't stop holding her. And I'm so blessed to have that. And I feel so at peace, tranquil, because she is it. She deserves me and I deserve her. And there are no holes in my heart to fill. Folks, consider people in your life maybe you're not connected to the way you want to be connected to. What are some expectations that might be holding you back on them, or expectations of others that might be taking you away from that relationship? What can you do to commit yourself to that relationship and let go of that doesn't work for you, or readjust your expectations so that you don't set yourself up for disappointment, so that you can let love in and be love. That's really what life is about, is to be in love with oneself, with a partner if you choose, with friends, with community, with family. Folks, thanks for listening.